Are live. Hello, GM. How are you
Hi.
guys doing? So,
Hey.
hi, Emilie. Hi, Ludovic. So, I'm gonna make an effort not to speak French during this stream, but we're gonna try really hard. But we're all like Belgians and Frenchies here. But this is gonna be an English speaking stream. Um, this is like the first time that I'm trying OBS, so if there's any glitches, be patient with me. We're experimenting with, like just different programs and so on. But Max has been making some really cool layouts here, and also it's the first time that I'm testing out the Donate GG plugin. This is a platform that's been created by Leap. The mission of this platform is to enable streamers to have donations, donate to either the creator, but also enable the creator to raise money for charity. So donation could, there's been streamers that have been donating to different charities like St. Jude's. I know there's been some donations going for some animal charity and so on. So we're testing out this new plugin. Let's see. I have put the link on top. We're gonna test it out. But without further ado, I want to welcome here with us. We have Emilie and Ludovic from Chainsecurity. Chainsecurity is one of those like OG firms that have been, around and have seen multiple cycles, and have also helped companies survive like these cycles. You guys do security, you guys do auditing. You've seen it all. You've like seen a lot of, like the crazy stuff happening in background. So I thought it would be really cool to have you on and just, share a bit of that knowledge that often is very much like misunderstood, especially when it comes to security, both from like the project side, but also more individuals. Like we operate in a very complex industry, and there's always someone that's getting drained or a project getting hacked. So it's important to know like kind of some basics, right? Of what to do. And yeah, and also to hear from you guys, what it's like to be, to have been through so many different cycles and have a successful company that helps business thrive and grow. And so I'm giving off the mic to Emilie, who is one of the founding partners at Chainsecurity, and then Ludovic, who is part of their engineering team.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you so
thank you
much,
so
and thank
much,
you
and thank you
for
for
having us.
having us. Yeah,
So on
so
my
on my
side,
side,
I'm kind
I'm
of
kind of
a
a
second
second
generation
generation
founder, you
founder,
can
you
say,
can
because the
say, because the
history of
history of
Chainsecurity has
Chainsecurity
been
has
pretty
been pretty
interesting.
interesting.
So
So
first,
first,
the
the
beginning of
beginning of
Chainsecurity was in
Chainsecurity was in
2017
2017
when the
when the
company
company
spun off
spun off
from
from
ETH.
ETH.
So
So
ETH is now
ETH is now
Ethereum in this
Ethereum in this
case, it's
case,
the
it's the
University of
University of
Zurich.
Zurich.
And it's
And
really
it's really
reputable for
reputable for
computer
computer
science, for
science, for
engineering.
engineering.
And
And
actually, the
actually, the
beginning of
beginning of
Chainsecurity is
Chainsecurity
just a
is just a
bunch of
bunch of
researchers
researchers
who
who
started
started
researching
researching
blockchain
blockchain
security,
security,
who
who
developed
developed
tools that
tools that
started to
started
be
to be
widely
widely
used,
used,
made
made
open
open
source
source
through
through
donation, through
donation, through
funding by the
funding by
Ethereum
the Ethereum
Foundation.
Foundation.
And that's
And
kind of
that's
how
kind of
it
how it
started. It's
started. It's
just
just
people
people
kept
kept
asking them
asking them
question how
question
to be
how
more
to be more
secure. Can you
secure. Can
please
you
check
please
if my
check if my
project is
project is
secure?
secure?
Then they
Then
thought,
they
okay,
thought,
let's
okay,
make a
let's make a
company now.
company now.
So that's
So
kind of
that's
the
kind of the
beginning of
beginning of
Chainsecurity as
Chainsecurity
as a
as a
spin-off
spin-off
from the
from the
university.
university.
And I
And I
wasn't there
wasn't
at
there
that
at that
time. I
time.
was
I was
already in
already in
crypto, but I
crypto,
was
but I was
doing other
doing other
things,
things.
less
Less
interesting,
interesting,
unfortunately.
unfortunately.
And
And
then
then
later on, so this cycle, that was kind of the ICO cycle, right? If you remember 2017, 2018, a lot of ICOs, so maybe simpler audits, a lot of simpler code. And then after the ICO bubble, I don't know if you remember, but around 2019, everybody started saying, okay, the next thing is going to be STOs, security token offerings. So kind of having these IPOs on the blockchain that, you're going to have these tokenized emissions, and it's going to be amazing. And because of that, we were acquired by PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, so one
Wow.
of the big four. Yeah, yeah, one of the big four accounting firms in the world, kind of like Deloitte and UI and so on. And it's kind of funny because it was a completely different culture, right? Where we were this super agile, tech-driven startup,
It's a very
and we
bold
were.
move, right? For these companies that are quite, in a sense, like resilient to like all this, change and new technologies and risk, especially, right? So
Yeah, exactly. Very risk averse for sure. And but at least, the I think the Swiss entity kind of really had this vision about blockchain and what this technology was going to become. And I think it's under this impulsion that they acquired us, because they had this vision. Okay, if STOs are going to be the next thing, and you're going to have all this, tokenization of actual regulated financial products, they bring the regulation aspect by these audits that they do, and we kind of bring the technical aspects with the technical audits, right? They do financial audits, we do security audits, and that was kind of the grand vision of this. But then, if you remember the whole STO thing, that was a bit of nothing, uh,
nothing for
and in the yeah, that kind of didn't work, right? And in the end, what happened was DeFi instead, right? And so we were part of PwC when this, DeFi summer hit, and thankfully, we were very connected to a lot of OG DeFi protocols. We worked with Curve, with Yearn, with Compound. So kind of all these OGs, we were working with them, and so that was great for us, but it was really difficult for PwC, because of course, I mean, what are these degenerate brands? What are these people and their weird internet currency? So that was really tricky. So since we wanted to go full degen, serve DeFi and like pure DeFi, and even working with anons and so on, so that's why we spun off from PwC, and that's when I became a co-founder in 2021. And since 2021, we've been just growing, hiring amazing talent like Ludovic, who's on the call today. Yeah, and so now we're like, I think around 30, really mostly engineers. We have like 25, 26 engineers, and only a very small non-technical team. And yeah, I guess that was the story of Chainsecurity through the different cycles.
I mean, I have so many questions also in terms of like the kind of project that you guys have been, working with. I can see like, there's definitely different trends that happen like over the years, but I would say trying to save money on security and other things is definitely a pattern that a lot of companies have. But ultimately, if you do want to grow, you do need to invest in your own operations and security and firm. And auditing is something that people cannot underestimate the damage that not having security put in place and having measures can do to your credibility, to your users. We even see like big firms at the end of the day like getting hacked. There's no one is like really safe, right? I was wondering like, what's like, you guys have seen a lot, right? And maybe like this is a question for like Ludovic, like what is like like the dumbest mistake you've seen, like these big companies, or protocols make over the years? I'm sure like you guys have some like crazy stories.
Yeah, sure. But like one that was like really from the OG of Ethereum is like the hack in 2016. I don't know if you remember, but it was like a big reentrancy bug. So the reentrancy bug is when during a function call, you do an external call, and then you can re-enter into the contract. And so in this case, they had like a withdrawal
By the
function.
way, I can see someone donated 8
Oh, nice.
USDC for you guys.
Yay! Keep talking
Yay!
about the DAO hack, Ludovic, it's working.
Oh my
Nice.
god, this is like the first. Thank you, whoever this is. Thank you. This is so cool. Sorry, Ludovic.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, I was saying, so this famous DAO hack in 2016 was a reentrancy bug, and then what was going for this exact bug is like they had like a withdraw function, and then doing the withdraw, you check that the user has the funds to withdraw, and then you just transfer the funds, and after you update the balance of the user. But because of this, in this case, if the user is a contract, you can withdraw the money to the contract, and the contract, when it receives money, is able to do something. And in this case, the contract can just ask again the contract to withdraw money, but its balance was not updated. So you can basically withdraw 2 times the money that you have, or 3 times, 5 times, like whatever amount of times, and you can basically drain all the money that is laying in the contract. And because
much
of
money was
this,
there?
all the funds were drained.
Oh my
Excuse me?
God.
And how much was that, Ludovic? How much money was there?
I think it was around 70 millions at the time, but
Oh,
it was
wow.
really a lot for the chain, because I think it was 1/3 or something of the supply. So
Wow.
really a lot of the ETH on the chain were stolen, and because of this, they had like a big dilemma. What should we do? Because there were like 2 teams. The actual team, like Ethereum Foundation, they were like, that's really a huge mistake. We don't want to let it happen. And what we can do is an hard fork. So basically, we rewrite the history, so we can say, okay, this never happened, right? And the other team, which is now known as Ethereum Classic, were like, okay, the code is low, so if we were able to do that with the code, we'll just keep it forever. And that's when the Ethereum Classic is born, with this big hard fork after this hack. Because yes, so many ETH were stolen that people were like, okay, we cannot let this happen.
I remember ETH Classic was something that there was the community was very intense. No, like there was quite some like
Yeah,
rivalry
exactly.
with like
They were fighting
the
really hard to stay with the code is low, so we should not move it. But yeah, in the end, they kind of lost, because as you can see, nobody is really using Ethereum Classic now. It's more everything on Ethereum. So
Okay, I see.
Always
Oh,
follow Vitalik.
yeah. I
yeah,
see Max is saying, is there even an Ethereum Classic community left? Lol.
I
yeah.
think I've met at least one person from Ethereum Classic at conferences, but one. I don't know if one
When?
of the community.
When though? In the last like few years or
Yeah, maybe a few years ago. Yeah.
I've not seen any, or even like heard about Ethereum Classic. I feel like it's part of history. It's like
Yeah,
Bitcoin
it's kind of.
Cash that nobody
But
saw.
also, in general, we kind of tend to stay in our own bubbles, right? So, maybe I'm in my Ethereum, my Ethereum bubble, and maybe they're in theirs, and they think they're the biggest community. I don't know. Yeah, maybe
I
I'm
mean,
just
you
not
are probably
exposed
in
to
the
them.
biggest bubble, so it's nice.
Yeah.
I don't know, like well, you definitely don't see them on the timeline. I don't see them on Twitter. Maybe I wonder if they're still, but it's like these things, right? Like there's different cycles. People get wiped out. There's really like not that many people that make it throughout, various periods for various reasons, and it's easy that things get forgotten. Like the attention span in crypto is so low that if
Yeah.
these companies or communities don't really like intentionally want to create hype or give some kind of reason for people to care, like people are going to move on to the next big thing. Like it's just too
Yeah.
hard to keep up with everything. Like
It's really funny because if you go to so I've been in crypto since 2017. I've been to a lot of conferences. I've gotten a lot of merch, and it's kind of funny. All the merch that I got from companies that don't exist anymore is just insane.
you could open up like a crypto museum or something with like
Yeah.
your t-shirt is really cool, by the way. I was telling you before, like the
Thank you.
Chainsecurity merch is hot. It looks really good, and
Thank you.
100%
It says
there's
not endorsed by Chainsecurity because I sometimes when I sing these silly songs, I want people to know that I'm not representative of the company. Ludovic is, smart, people, talented, but me and my silliness is not endorsed.
yeah, for those that are listening, Emilie is also an incredible performer, and you've played shows. We're gonna go into details later, but like I know you've played shows a bit all over the world now. You're like touring pretty much.
My God, yeah, it seems like it's. I played in Dubai at the Staking Summit closing party, and apparently they want us again. So in
Incredible.
November in Buenos Aires, we're gonna be playing again.
Yes.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I guess I'm touring internationally, yeah.
You are, babe. You're I don't know. There's definitely, I mean, I don't want to go too much into like music NFTs and crypto music, but there's not that many crypto performers, so you're definitely rocking it.
Maybe we found a niche,
Yeah. And so back to like the security and auditing, like do you guys have an example of, like, for example, when you've saved someone? Like, how does it happen? Like, a company comes to you, they're saying they have a massive like breach, there's someone trying to hack them. Like, what do you guys do to basically help them not lose money and save their millions of ETH or worth of ETH or whatever currency like they're holding?
Yeah, so basically we are saving people every day. It's our job. So we have two types of saves. So the first one is when we do like the normal audit, because basically every time we are able to uncover like an high or critical severity issue, we are basically saving them, because someone could have, like, for example, stuck the funds forever, steal everything. And this is a bit difficult to assess, like, what was saved, because usually when we audit something, the code base is hopefully not deployed yet. So if you find something, they can just change it and before deployment. So this is like the nice side. And sometimes, yeah, as you said, companies knows that there's something going wrong and they need like a rescue plan. And for that, we have some people that are specialized in our company to handle this kind of case. So sometimes you need to think about an upgrade or to incentivize people to move the funds from the ACT contract, because of course you cannot say, hey, just watch out, this contract has a huge vulnerability, you should move your funds, because otherwise someone will just hack it. So yeah, this part is a bit more difficult. You need to be really careful, think about this, or you do the upgrade, or you incentivize people to move.
So what do? You create some kind of like, so how does that work? Like, do you tell them, like, you create like a little shiny thing so that they move? Like, what's like, you have to get is it you guys that like come up with the contingency plan, with like the strategy, or is it like the project usually?
Yeah, so usually it's the project choosing the strategy, but then we will help them to assess like the security of the upgrade, stuff like this. For example, if a pool gets hacked, you can just reduce the reward of the pool and show them a new pool with high reward, and everyone will be like, oh, super nice, we need to move to this pool. Stuff like this. You need to trick people to move without telling them the reason, basically.
Okay, next time I'm gonna be seeing like my rewards go to 0. I'm gonna I'll know what's happening. And so
yeah, true.
And so what's the process like? Is it when someone has a suspicion, like, are you already like working with them, or do they they have their own team see that there's some kind of like vulnerability and then they contact you? Because obviously these things happen like quite fast, right? And I personally, like, I'm asking from like a new perspective. Like, I'm a non-technical person, so, but just very curious, right? Like, because these things like happen really fast. So do they, like, what happens, like, they contact you and then you do all these tests and you try to like obviously like save them?
Yeah, so usually I'm not part of this incident response team yet, so I don't know like how they contact us. It's probably more through Emilie, maybe she knows more, but it really depends. We can also help non-client yet, of course. And like there are two steps. We need to assess what funds are at risk, like what are the risks, what can be stolen, what can be saved. Like sometimes people, when a contract is at risk, they do like some white hat hacking of the funds. But also this is really hard, because then you can have like some law issues, because you are still hacking people's money. So you need to be really careful. And at this point, it's kind of the project that need to decide what's the best option for them. We can help them to build the options, but at the end of the day, they need to choose the solution, right?
Right. I remember there was like, this was maybe like 2 years ago, there was some kind of like scandal with like Certic that was basically white, like supposedly they had, their white hacker team that ended up, basically it ended up being like Certic themselves, like hacking the projects and then asking for my, like, do you remember that? It was like
Yeah,
so
but
ridiculous.
that's what is super tricky because also even if at some points the community believes you, then legally, right? It's really difficult. Also, how do you send the money back to exactly the right people? It seems pretty trivial, but actually it's quite complicated to send the money. Then what if you do the attack? Maybe the attack is not fully profitable, right? So what if the attack costs some money? The people have not given their consent for to pay the fees of their attack of this attack, right? So they could potentially sue you, saying, "Oh, you stole my money. You give it back to me, but you still there are 5% missing. So you stole 5% of my money." So these kinds of things are really complicated, and then it can also open you up to getting sued across different jurisdictions because you don't know where these people are, and it's very hard to signal, to virtue signal in this case. Yeah, so white hat hacking is very tricky.
What does
Yeah, true. And as
oh,
you,
sorry, go for it.
yeah, just to add up, like as you said, sometimes it's really hard to send back the money because if it's like end users, you can just send money to their like EOA or whatever their wallet. But sometimes it's if a protocol deposited money into the other protocol that got just hacked, then it's really hard to give them back money because maybe it can like do it can like break their accounting. Then they need to know like if it's a percentage to their own user which money should go where and so on. Like it's not that easy. Like for end user it's easy, but then for protocol it's like way harder.
It seems like I mean, it's definitely tough to be a hacker, I guess. Like, what's your obviously like what's your like what's the journey in your opinion? Like, how does one decide to be become a white hacker as opposed to being a black hacker?
The size of the bug bounties.
Yeah.
I think I think at some point, I mean, of course, for us it's different. I'll get into it in a minute, but of course, if there are, I don't know, 100 million available to hack, and then if you actually rescue the people, if you inform the protocol, okay, this is the attack, and I'll help you mitigate it, and so on, and then you get $2,000. It's kind of so. There are some people who are kind of on the spectrum, gray hats, you could say, where it kind of depends on the reward, right? And sometimes it's also pretty funny. Sometimes you're gonna have a hacker stealing money, and then the protocol is going to try to play it cool, like, oh, thank you so much for white hacking this. You can keep 10%, send us 90%, and we're happy. Thank you so much. You've done us a great service. So that's there's kind of a thin line sometimes, which is kind of funny. Sorry, Ludovic, you wanted to say something? I interrupted you. Sorry.
No, I think it was a perfect answer. Like some people are really on the gray line, and so some of them they are white hack, and then when the protocol sent the message, they are like, yeah, maybe I'm risking like to go into jail, stuff like this. Maybe 10% is enough, and then they just go like white hack kind of. But yeah,
Mm,
and there is also people that will just help the community all the time, and even if they found like a 1 billion hack, they won't hack at all, right? As we do, for
yeah.
example.
Yeah. But also, yeah, definitely. I think if you can have a good life and make a good living without being a criminal, for me that's always preferable, right? I mean,
Mm.
if you have money that is legal, that when you have your bank asking where's the money coming from, you can say from here. When you're doing good, and you have a positive impact on the community, and you can be completely honest with the protocols around you, I feel like this is much better, and it's much more sustainable, right? I think all the auditors at Chainsecurity, they know they're going to have a long, prolific career. Whereas as a hacker, it's kind of like maybe it's 2-3 years, and then you're burnt out. You're burnt.
Yeah, and then you can't really sleep at night because you're at risk of getting found because people are gonna come after you like years and
Yeah.
years and years, and like you'll probably get hacked back and they'll find you. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's kind of thing. Um, like how do these but like there is obviously we know of like some pretty big hacks. I know like Bybit was hacked not so long ago. Like throughout the history of crypto there's been like some millions and millions and millions that have been like siphoned through. through hacks, like how does one know that, like, for example, like an exchange, like a centralized exchange, is safe, like for for the consumer? Because obviously, we are playing around with like new tech. Obviously, a lot of people have insane amount of money. Some people have all their net worth in crypto, on one exchange only, which I don't know if that is advisable. It's always better not to put all your eggs in one basket, but to everyone their own. But like, are there any checks that like a user can do, to make sure that
Yeah.
exchange is safe, or even like wallet, for example, whatever basically ledger they're using?
Yeah, I mean, in the case of Bybit, if your exchange can lose like more than 1 billion, like 1.5 billion overnight, and user don't get impacted, it's already like really good, because they have like insurance funds, and even if they get hacked, if something goes wrong, you will keep your money. So I think this is already good. If I would have money on Bybit, I would not worry of them being hacked, because that they will do everything in their power to just give the money back. But otherwise, since the FTX thingy,
We have
now a lot of
sorry, we have another donation. Thank you. Oh my god, you guys.
Oh, nice. I didn't hear the sound.
That is so cute.
Nice.
That's so cute. I don't know. I can't even tell who it is. If you guys are donating, like, unless you want to remain anonymous, let me check. I can only see like the address, but you guys are the best. Like, this is so cute. And props to Donate GG for creating this tool that's working. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, love you too, whoever you are. Sorry, Ludovic, I interrupted you. And then I see actually there is a question in the chat that I'm gonna bring back to you guys afterwards from Binta.
Yeah, sure. I was saying that since the FTX thingy, when they got bankrupt, like users really get scared about putting their money on exchanges, and to make them feel safer, now a lot of exchanges are doing some proof of reserve. So it's basically like a Merkle tree, so some cryptographical proof that they really own the money. So then each user can verify they have their money there, and also it's usually audited by like external parties. So this is quite nice. And also then you kind of need to check in which jurisdiction is the exchange. Will they be able to escape like easily if they steal user funds, stuff like this? And also, if you go on battle tested exchanges, like, I don't know, in Europe, there is Kraken that a lot of friends, for example, are using. And they are here for like 10 years, so they won't like overnight say, okay, now we go with the money.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, like, the more legit one. Kraken is actually the first exchange I used, like, I think like back in 2017. It was like so rudimentary looking at compared to like what we have now, but those like definitely stood the test of times and so on. But yeah, it's tough, right? Because you never know what's gonna happen, but at least it's good to do a little bit of research. The same way that you're gonna put your money into a bank, crypto has more risk. It definitely has a lot of benefits, but it requires a little bit more attention and care, of course. Otherwise, that's one thing that I always like tell friends that don't really feel or don't have the time to really look into it. If you want to buy crypto, just buy like on Revolut. You're not necessarily going to own, I don't think you even own the currency itself. Like, it's non-custodial. You can't really do anything afterward. You're just buying into whatever price they're going to give you at the time. But definitely, if you want to have more control over your own finances, it's important to research that. Oh, cute! I don't know who you guys are, but I love you. So cute.
Nice.
Can you guys hear the
sound?
Can you guys hear the music? Nyan Cat music.
Yeah, I did not decide. Oh, now it's coming.
This
Okay, I have
this
some
is
delay.
me playing. This is me.
Nice.
So we have I want to say hi to ADK. Yeah, Max is saying actually Max is saying that he's texting me, he's saying the sound is definitely mega loud, and you guys can maybe we cannot hear it. You're saying we can definitely hear it.
Okay.
Good.
Basically this.
But yeah, what you were saying, I think it's sound advice because you know there is this kind of die-hard crypto mentality. You know, not your keys, not your coins, and you need to do all these things to be fully decentralized and so on. But at some point, I think for most kind of new users or retail users, it doesn't make that much sense to have all these complex, you know, systems in place where in the end all you want is to hodl Bitcoin, you know, as one of your investments. And I do think why not just buy crypto on Revolut and you know it's safe and you know you don't have to think about it, you don't have to have these systems maybe losing, you know, losing your keys. So I do agree. I think UX can be a big part of security, just the fact that people don't know how to use and how to safeguard safely their crypto. So I'm all for easy UX for people who don't want to bother.
No, 100%. I mean, it's crazy that we have to justify ourselves saying this is not a very crypto thing to say, but definitely like if I'm going to be recommending like to, I don't know, a friend or a family friend or even like people in my family, you know, it's definitely going to be Revolut. My mother buys crypto on Revolut. Like, for example, she trades it.
I think she does, right?
She trades it on Revolut.
If she had to, nice.
yeah,
if she had to do it on another platform, probably she wouldn't have that crypto, right?
Too complicated. I mean, back in the days, so actually my mom's pretty good. She bought crypto in 2017 and was one of the few that like followed me and actually made quite some money on Bitcoin and like some coins back then and like sold the top. I don't know how, but yeah, like sometimes parents that don't care, they just like, oh, it went up, time to sell. Meanwhile, we're like hodling, you know, forever. We're like, you know, super attached. But that's the thing, like if, you know, it doesn't have to be that complicated. There's already like so many risks that you're taking just by investing in a very volatile asset that you can just make your life easier. Also, besides the price fluctuation, if you have to like stress on top of that just for security, it's complicated. In terms of like user security, I have a personal question as well. Like, is 2FA actually like efficient? Because I you know, I use obviously 2FA on like everything. All my passwords are like all super, I change them all the time. Like I take a lot of like precautions and when it comes to like security. Is 2FA like a hoax or does it actually work? Big question there.
It does actually work, but like not all the time, kind of, because it's always good to have it. Like it's like a second door on your apartment. You have it, it's better, but doesn't mean like nobody will be able to break in. And you already have like different kind of 2FAs. You can have it through your phone, like receiving a message and so on. This one is quite bad because like phone security, like with SMS and so on, is not so good. But like the most used one, I would say, is like the Google Authenticator thingy and alternatives. You know, you scan your QR code and then you get a 6-number digit on your phone that is like rotating every 30 seconds or something. So this one is already quite good. And you can also have, if you want to try out a little bit, you can have like a YubiKey, an hardware key, or like a Google Titan or whatever. And then you need to press when you log in on the key and so on. And this is even safer because it's always offline. You have it physically, so you cannot get stolen if you get hacked, stuff like this. But yeah, of course, you can always get hacked, even if you have to. Like the most common thing is like your laptop get hacked, and then someone is stealing your session, and because of this, they can access all like the active sessions. And this is really hard to defend against. And that's why like on some exchanges, sometimes if you are inactive, also on banking apps, if you are inactive for some time, they just disconnect you. And so even if someone get access to your browser, they won't be able to steal like the connection cookie. Okay. But yeah, I will definitely use like a 2FA on all my accounts where there is money and important stuff, basically.
And Max is, before we go into questions, thank you. You guys can't hear it, but apparently it's like super loud, so yeah, I can play the wow. But we got here someone saying this donation is for all the parents trading in the trenches. That's so cute. You know what, like you've inspired. I'm gonna send my mom like some crypto. It's been a while since I've done that.
Oh, is that what the donations are for? Are they for your mom?
Oh god, I'm gonna be sending like crypto to my family. Like, you guys, keep it. Although I don't think you can even send it on Revolut, but like anyway, I'll create a wallet or keep it for them. I don't know. But it's super cute. I mean, you guys are the best. Let's see. Hybrid is saying in the chat, "What's up? I love the security talk. MFA is definitely needed if you're not using it. MFA or 2FA, maybe 2FA.
MFA is like
multi-factor.
multi. Yeah.
What is that?
It's multi authentication.
Oh my
It's like
god.
2FA or 3FA if you want.
Okay, yeah, that's lots of levels there.
So 2FA is a kind of MFA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. I feel like I need to step up my security after this call. I've got a lot to do. I need to lock in for a week to just reveal my password. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
I for my mom. So cute.
Yeah. Tell me what she invested them in Sound Copy, because I think she's a very good trader. So I
She's-
want to copy trade everything she does now.
I love you guys. You're the best. Imagine I'm gonna tell her, yeah, I'm live streaming and people are sending you some crypto. You guys are the best. Max is asking, is passkey better than 2FA?
If by 2FA it means the 6 digits code, so like the time OTP, yeah, it's better because usually it's stored in a more secure way. So either encrypted on your, for example, on your Mac, there is like a special device to store these kind of things, on the like hardware key like YubiKey and so on. So it's way harder to steal the secret.
Okay, I see.
So yeah.
And the hybrid is saying, sorry, I work in security too. Lol, doesn't need to confuse the all good. I'm just like a normie compared to you, but I'm here to learn. That's why, like, I thought, you know what? It's always good to have a bit of a refresher. And also, I see another donation coming in. You guys, I love you. Bye. I guess this is a stream that's going to my mom. I'm gonna send her this today.
Yeah. And also towards buying a YubiKey.
Yes. That it's like a physical. Is that a physical?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's a bit like your ledger, you know, like it's a device on the side. Yeah.
Max is saying all the donations are destroying headphones across the globe. Oh my God. We can't hear. It's, so basically you can select like an animation, so you see the chat coming up on the screen, and then there's a song. I love cats, so I don't know, I just put the Neon Cat song, which is quite intense, but apparently it's like blasting through every time there's like a sound there. So I apologize to everyone that has to endure through this, but yeah, it's it's happening from time to time. I will see if we can like fix the volume a little bit. It's the first time that we're using it, but regardless, thank you so much, honestly, for the support. It means a lot. Yeah, when you see like these, for example, like these hacks and so on, I see a lot of these like Zoom, kind of like people falling for Zooms and the people getting drained on, like on crypto Twitter. Like occasionally, like, you definitely see like some people like tweeting that they've been drained and they don't know where it's happening from, and like unfortunately, it's something that it definitely happens to the best of us. You can never be too careful on clicking a link. Generally, these happen when, a lot of people are distracted or they get engineered, right? Like some of these hackers go to great lengths and really prey on people that are either new to the space, which is quite, it's sad because it pushes people away in a sense, like especially the new I wouldn't call newbies, but like people that aren't that familiar with crypto tend to be at risk. And these kind of like, attacks, let's say, to crypto users are generally coming through, people DMing you on Twitter with an opportunity. And one thing, to keep in mind, if it sounds too good to be true, don't fall for it. Oh, here's another donation come through. Everybody, I'm sorry for the sound. We can't hear it, but you guys are. I know you guys are. Another one.
But yeah, about what you said, fully. So with DMs, so it happened to me actually recently that someone tried to hack me. So first, a lot of crypto communication is on Telegram, right? And now I've seen kind of an increase of people getting their Telegrams hacked, but even from one day to the next, they don't see anything, they don't click anything special, and then the next day their Telegram is compromised, and you have a hacker sending messages instead of them pretending to be them. So this is super scary because someone reached out to me. We had a chat history, about the security audit and so on. We had a chat history going back 2 years. And then they reach out like, hey, it's been a while, let's catch up. No. So I think, okay, maybe they want an audit. I jump on it, obviously. So they send me a Calendly. I book a call. Until now, everything looks normal, right? Then when it's time for the call, they send me a Zoom link.
The Zoom, it's always the Zoom.
It's always the
hate
Zoom.
Zoom.
And I have to say, I was a noob. I thought it was this guy that I knew, right? So I'm like, yeah, okay, he sends a Zoom link. It looked a little weird, but not fully, like, because the Zoom links are also always weird, right? So I think this doesn't help at all. Like it's a bunch of random characters, US6 dash, no. So I click on this link and I arrive on the Zoom call with several people, actually, including the guy that I knew. But then I arrived there. First of all, weird. It asked me to allow my camera and my microphone when I've already used Zoom, right? So that was my first, like, weird. Okay, but anyway, it's a little stressful because you have all these people who are there waiting for you, and then of course, they pressure you, like, okay, why don't you let's talk? And then so basically they were kind of these error messages saying, okay, you need to activate your mic, you need to do this, you need to do that, and it doesn't work. And then they really pressure you, like, oh, we can't hear you, everybody's here, let's get started, which
scammers
I don't know.
always pressure, like that's one of the biggest red flags. If you guys have an interaction with some scammers and it feels weird, that they're rude and they're pressuring you, they're trying to like stress you out, this is a tactic. Like when you're stressed, you tend to make more mistakes, right? You feel like they try to make you intimidate you, make you feel a bit insecure, and then you will try to like jump into things and maybe click links and not think twice, right? Like big red flag. And this is definitely something like I see every DM, and every time they try it, they're always very aggressive and they try to be like make you do stuff quick, so don't fall for this.
Yeah, definitely. And then basically, there's this error message, this Zoom error message that opens and that said, my Zoom SDK is deprecated. In order to fix it, I need to copy paste a command, and then execute the command.
Oh my God.
I saw that, I was like, okay. Although I saw the guy on the camera, this is what was so weird. I saw the guy on the camera, but I was like, this can't be, right? So then I left the call. I text the guy on Telegram, already thinking, okay, this is probably a scammer. It's probably not the right person. I text him like, listen, I'm not comfortable with this. Let's go on Google Meet. He does join on Google Meet, pretending that his camera doesn't work and pretending things. So really, and then he was really pressuring me, being rude, like, you're wasting my time.
Yeah, classic. And there you go.
Yeah, and really, I mean, in this case, it was someone that I knew who would not talk to me this way. So of course I knew, but imagine you're like a young founder and this is someone pretending to be a VC, for example, and you're like, okay, this is a big VC, this is my shot at raising funds, or imagine this is really something that gets you so emotional that you don't see things clearly. And really, like you said, it's they play on your emotions so that your rational brain is kind of impaired, right?
No, yeah, for sure. And Max is saying here in the chat, Zoom is basically malware at this point. It is. It is. And like, whenever, don't want to make names, but like I'm doing this like weekly workshop thing and it's on Zoom every week, twice a week, and I have to do it and it's legit. I honestly, I just like hate. Also, Zoom gives you such like PTSD from COVID times. Honestly, I just yeah. Hybrid is saying, why am I just hearing about you guys? Checking you guys out now. Chainsecurity. I don't know. Chainsecurities are like the OG auditing firm. Like they've been here. They've been here through the cycles. If you're into security hybrid, you should definitely know about Chainsecurity, and they have awesome merch, as you can see.
Yeah, I think our best merch is we have these maybe I can find them after. We have these bugs, and the package says looking for bugs, and it's actual bugs that you can eat inside. Because I love it, that joke, I'm stupid like that.
I love it. If there's anyone watching that has a project that, like, for example, like needs help for this, or even just like consulting, or I don't know if this is something that you can do, like what can they do to get in touch with you guys? Like, how can someone reach Chainsecurity and potentially work with you guys? Like, what are the steps?
Yeah, I think the easiest is to go on chainsecurity.com, and there's a contact, so you can find an email address to reach out. Otherwise, yeah, I think that's maybe the easiest. Otherwise, I'll have to give lengthy Telegram names and so on. But yeah, on our website, it's up to date. You can contact us, and we'll be in touch very quickly.
I'm seeing here another donation. Like, wait, let me read the message. I'm going to bring my mic over. Let's normalize not having to download software for any call or interview. Like, please.
Yes.
Like,
True.
yes, please. And also, even if you're not a founder, or just like you're looking for, I don't know, you're looking for a job, a lot of the times, like, these are people that also target just, the community, right? How many times have you seen someone in your DMs asking you to test a game and download something? Like, anything downloading, you have to be careful. These also, like, another big, I think, like, phishing scam that you could get is emails. Like, they're getting really good, right? They'll send you like a Google email saying there's an issue, that you've been sued, and then you have to like check here, and then you put in your credentials. Don't do that. Also, always double check, like, who is the sender. Like, check the email, double check. If it's weird and you're having a doubt, don't click that link. Just go on the official, website and speak to support, or reach out to the company directly. If it's like crypto, if you're being reached out by someone from a certain company, going through I don't know. You guys should put your names in there. I don't even know who's donating. This is like anonymous donations. I love But if you're being reached out by someone offering you something and they work in crypto, double check. Like, if it's from an exchange, if it's from a big company, and that company has verification badges and the person writing to you doesn't, red flag. Check how many followers you have in common. Ask people that follow that person if they know this person. There's ways you can go on the company's website and see if they're there. Check on LinkedIn. Although LinkedIn's another story. There's so many scams everywhere. You can never be too careful. But definitely ask. Don't be afraid to ask for people. If someone wants to buy your NFT and do an OTC sale, be careful. Really be careful.
Yeah, on the job interviews, actually, one of the biggest hacks, the Ronin hack. So there were 600 million that disappeared, and this was through one of the engineers of the project who kind of had this privileged access from you being one of the admins, and basically, it was very sophisticated hack, right? It was a lot of social engineering. Of course, for 600 million, you can do a bit of homework, right? And so basically, they pretended it was a fake job offer, and the engineer went through several stages of interviews and so on until he really had his guard down, and then downloaded the fatal thing that stole the private keys and then led to the 600 million hack.
It's so tough.
Yeah, it's really.
But
really
even
bad.
in the Web 2, like, phishing can get really scary. Nowadays, I heard you can receive phone calls that are looking like they are coming from your bank, like the same exact number, and they are asking you for something weird. And because you can actually temper those numbers, like make it look it's coming from the bank, but it's actually not.
Yeah.
And like the advice in this case is just like hang up and recall them, because in the other way, they cannot intercept the call, but they can just make it look like it's come from a wrong number.
But that's so
And this is really
sad.
scary.
They target like your grandma and your grandpa and elderly. Like, I mean, even I would probably fall from this scam. Like, hopefully not. Now I know about it, so I won't. But you know what I mean? Like, they're targeting like just people that are not very technology savvy, and it's like really sad. So yeah,
that's why I stay safe. I don't pick up the phone ever. That's it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, don't call Emilie; she will not
Just
pick up.
Don't call me.
Yeah, don't call. I see Hybrid saying, I know Certic, Trail of Bits, Wally Guard. Definitely interested. I'll reach out. There you go.
Thank you so much.
Nice.
Appreciate it. These guys know what they're doing, and I'm learning a lot of tricks. Oh my god, I see there's another comment coming through, by the way. Thank you guys. Let me know if the volume is better. I've put it down a little bit. It shouldn't blast your ears anymore. Hopefully you don't have to like buy hearing aid after the stream. Someone asked, would you leave Web3 forever for 100 mil, but you could use cars again? Would you leave Web3 forever for 100 mil, but you could use cars again?
Can I not use cars right now? Am I am I not allowed?
I don't understand the question. As in, like,
maybe you can't.
But I cannot use card. I don't know. I sometimes is 100 mil my like fuck you money goal. I don't know. I mean, yeah, 100 mils sounds nice. But like, I guess once you're there, you get bored and you want to do stuff and build things and companies. I don't know if I would leave Web3, honestly. It's been love at first sight for me. Like, the moment I got in, I just felt something that I hadn't like been able to, let's say, like experience otherwise. I mean, also, I guess we've had this conversation already with Emilie, but like back in 2017 and like early days, like crypto was a lot more, there was a stronger ideological sort of push in a sense, and like people that got into crypto where they're not just for financial gains. Of course, like the financial gains and financial sovereignty was definitely a big part of it, but more on a philosophical level, and the values were different. There was definitely a degen culture, but it was definitely more of a fringe culture in a sense, like, and it just gave people, or at least me, it gave me hope of, something different, right? Like crypto came in and it was something new. It was something new. It was, hope for change, hope for maybe a different life, a better system.
Banking the unbanked.
Yeah, banking the unbanked.
Oh my god.
Everyone has a phone.
1.7 billion unbanked people in the world. How many times have I repeated that?
Exactly right. Everyone's got a bank. Not everybody can have banking services. Everyone can have crypto, and they will have crypto. So
farmers in underdeveloped economies are going to be able to get loans to buy seeds and fertilizers, and it's going to increase the yield of their crops. And now yield,
we're going to put your tomatoes on chain.
Oh my god. Traceability of supply chain. Oh, that was so hot in 2017. Oh my god. Oh, we're going to put a tag, and the tag is going to be connected to the blockchain, and then
oh my god, the good old days though. You know what, like there's definitely one thing, and I mean another donation. Is this sound better? Here. Would you take 100 mil but can never hold a puppy or kitten or bunny ever again? Oh my god, what are these questions so hard?
Can I hold an adult dog?
Is your show where's your little dog? Please show it.
Where's my dog? Spencer! Oh, he's there! Oh, he's so cute. Spencer, come here. Hello!
Oh my god, he's so cute. He's the cutest. This dog is like this little poodle. So we were over at Natalie. Not Natalie, what am I saying? Natalie's our social media manager. I'm sorry, we talked to her all day. Emilie's place, and this little poodle cutie fluffy ball was just like running around like crazy, playing catch with the ball. Look at him, he looks like a little lamb, but he's very, very naughty and runs around. So cute. Back to the question. 100 mil, but can never hold a puppy or a kitten or a bunny again. Oh, this is so tough. I love cats. I genuinely I love animals. Oh, this is so hard. I don't know.
My answer: if I can hold an adult dog, then I'm okay. Just the puppies, okay, fine. Puppies are cute, but if I can have dogs,
That's a
still
good
okay.
that's a good workaround. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take the 100 mil and like the 10-year-old cat. The grandma cat.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spencer
My-
is like
my dog
5,
is 4
right?
years old. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. There you go. 100 mil. Next question, please. So the question before, by the way, Ludovic, I know if you have another engagement that you have to go, like, feel free to hop off, like you don't have to stay and like
sure.
mess around, but we'd love to have you here, of course. So the question before was, would you leave Web3 forever but you could use cars again? So I guess you cannot use cars ever again. I don't know, I'd get a tuk-tuk or something, or
And
like a
100
bike.
million, is it off the table?
Yeah, are you gonna like provide it? Like, my wallet's there, you guys. Like, we can share between us. There's enough for everybody here. Can do. But yeah, and I see a comment as well from Max, like, put vegetable on the table, on the table, on the blockchain. Yeah, this is like
Yeah.
back in the days, like, it's crazy. And I know we had a chat, like, as well. So Emilie, by the way, for those that don't know, besides being, a crypto baddie and a founder and leading like one of the most, badass OG audit companies in crypto, has also written a book. And I remember you were saying, like, you even like wrote your university thesis on blockchain, right? And you've been writing pieces and putting out academic work on blockchain for a while, and you even published a book in French. How is that? Like, how is that process? And also, I think that you told me the book came out in like 2021, right? You started writing in like 2019, and then it came out in 2021. Like, how does that, obviously that process, like, I think was quite amazing, right? And also like doing a lot of research for it, but like, how does your book, for example, and if you first can like introduce a little bit what you wrote about, but how did that, like, survive time, right? And different cycles and where we're at now. Obviously the way that we saw crypto back then was very, very much different than the way we see it today. And like, I don't know, I can probably speak for, I mean, definitely myself, but a lot of people, like, you become a little bit disillusioned after some time. Kind of see, although there is definitely a lot of change, and I think crypto should be celebrated. It changes people's lives. It changed mine. It allowed me to like set up, create a company and just break free from the corporate life that I felt like I was stuck in for so long. So, and on top of that, we work with multiple people. Like, we have so many people that we work with, and a lot of them are in developing countries or are in countries that are sanctioned by the US, where they don't necessarily have access to, like we said, banking services, but also being able to like move around and send money abroad, or use even just like the credit card. And so this definitely, it allows people to really have a normal life and be able to like break free from maybe like the socioeconomical conditions that they are in, not because of their own choice or fault, but because of their country's situation, whether it's hyperinflation or whatever situation they're going through. This is it's an alternative. It's definitely not a guarantee, but you don't have to be a victim of your own like country situation anymore. You can actually with a little bit of research, and you can empower yourself and find alternatives to owning your own money, right? And I cannot talk for everybody, and there's always like difficulties that come with that, but it's definitely true for a lot of people. And it's a beautiful thing to see, right? Of course, if you look at crypto, we are converging towards, traditional market, like crypto and finance are pretty much have been hand in hand for forever, to be honest. Like the Jamie Dimon announcements, and have been, we've been hearing this for years. So it's nothing new that Wall Street is buying your coins. But the thing is that we are seeing a lot more crypto adoption and like regulations coming into place to make it, bring it side by side. We're seeing structured products. It's just becoming an additional layer to what like finance is. And I think we also like the whole stable coin narrative, like we're going to be able to see maybe just an improvement in terms of like transaction speeds and overseas transfers and so on. So that's definitely where like I think maybe not what people had expected, but where the product market fit and sort of like mass adoption might come through is, it happens when people are using the technology and they don't know they're using it. Just like we use Bluetooth, but we don't really think that it does Bluetooth. We're just sending each other. So not what we expected, but not very surprising in a way. So I just wanted to hear your thought as well. I've been rambling for a bit. Like, how's your experience been? Because obviously you've been working in the industry for far more time. Like, I was just like a hodler, just there, like going to some meetups here and there. But so how's it been for you?
Yeah. I think your initial question was also kind of around the process of the book, and I love
Yes.
that you kind of brought this disillusionment, because when I started writing the book, when I had the idea first, it was in 2018. Then I really started writing it in 2019, and I remember I was just like such an idealist. Really, I was, all the things I was making fun of before. I used to say this, and I used to think it so hard and so deeply. Like, I really thought it was going to save the world. And
Yes.
initially I started this book thinking it's going to be a manifesto for crypto, where I explain all the great things about it because people don't understand and they need to see it. So then I really wanted to write this book with proper methodology. I didn't want it to be just me rambling on paper, right? So then I, did a lot of work to, get sources from everything I was claiming. And actually, when you have to really put your thoughts on paper and argument it properly and with proper method, then I realized that there were maybe a few holes in in what I was saying. And also at that time, it was a pretty long bear market, right? After 2018, it was quite long. And then so I kind of wrote the first draft of this book super quickly, like blah blah blah, idealism, nah. And then I thought, okay,
And
now
we didn't
let's
have
edit
AI
this.
that's the thing. We didn't have the AI. Props to everybody that wrote a book before
Before
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. Yes.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, I can't believe
You
how long
like
it took me.
wrote the book. You
I'm like,
actually
God.
wrote it. I'm so
Yeah. That's
proud of you,
that's just
babe.
crazy.
I'm so
Yeah,
proud of
thank
you.
you. Now when I think how much easier it would be, just crazy the time I spent anyway. Especially like, because I wrote it first kind of quickly, then I rewrote it for style, and it took me a long time to rewrite for style, when this is truly something I could have done completely with ChatGPT, because all the content was there, all the sources were there. It was just so that the sentences would be nice. Anyway, so going back to what I was saying, so then really I was writing this, I was doing research, and I was in the middle of the bear market. My coins were worth nothing, and it was really
So
rough.
sad.
And then I think the book was much better for it, because now it's kind of nuanced. And although so I also had a break between kind of the first draft that I wrote and then kind of this second rewrite. So then I could see the things that didn't age too well between 2019 and kind of early 2021, when I really had to finalize it before publication. And then I kind of left things that were more timeless, and I think it didn't age too bad, to be honest. And also, there's one thing that aged really well. So it was before FTX and before all kind of these CFI scandals, like with Celsius and all these companies that kind of benefited from the transparency of the blockchain when really they're not transparent because they're not decentralized, right? The accounting of FTX, it's not on chain. It's just a normal financial company, except, you know, they're in a jurisdiction where you have no control. And I really wrote this long chapter about this, about being careful of this blockchain adjacent companies where if there is not the transparency of the blockchain, then there should potentially be regulations, actually, right? Because then it's just a financial company like anyone else, like any other. So I think there are a few things like these that aged pretty well. Yeah, I'm pretty happy still with it. I would like to reread it, but it's very cringe to reread yourself, right? Like, to be honest, when I think about the book, I'm kind of like, oh, I don't want to think about it. But yeah, I should embrace it at some point. Oh, and also the title is in French, Le futur des espèces, which means the future of species and the future of cash, because I do love a silly wordplay. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of it.
Nice.
The future of finance. I mean, that's what they call, or at least we like to tell ourselves that we call crypto the future of finance.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's also a chunk about kind of governance and how you could have, you know, this idea of more direct democracy, because Chainsecurity, it's a company in Switzerland, and you in Switzerland you kind of have this culture of direct democracy, right, where you can suggest kind of a low project, you get a bunch of signatures, I think it's 100,000, something like that, and then it could be voted right away, right? Like it's this direct where the people can vote on laws, and not only for people who are going to vote for them afterwards, right? So I feel like this is also why Switzerland was such a good place for blockchain, the blockchain ecosystem to evolve, because there is this kind of decentralization mindset already there.
What about Dubai? How do you feel? How do you feel about Dubai?
I think Dubai is the hustler mindset, which also fits well with crypto. I was surprised by how many crypto people are here, like even people who are kind of anons and so on. I'm surprised by the amount of people I meet here in crypto.
I mean, it's nice to be in a place where, you know, the government isn't going to, or at least you're not being treated like you're doing something illegal. Like, for the ones that aren't, of course, right? But the thing is, like in Dubai, so there's obviously a lot of crypto scams here, but one thing is that the government is very much aware of like these scams that are going and these hacks, and they take this very seriously, and they have a whole team apparently that are protecting users. And I know there was a case where they managed to get back like millions of dollars pretty much. I have a friend actually that got scammed, the classic you know, the classic scam for non-crypto natives, where, you know, they're like, if you send us this amount of money, we're gonna give you the triple amount, and we're gonna make you like triple your money in like a week. And he did, and that was just like a scheme operated by some kind of like criminal ring and so on, and they were able to trace the money some kind of in some way, and trace the one person that was basically you know, like tied to this. And now they're in you know, there's a whole like court case that was open, and it seems like my friend's gonna get his money back, which is kind of like crazy to think, right? Usually when you get scammed with crypto, like that money becomes untraceable and it's tough, but here in Dubai they're protecting people for it. Yeah. So yeah, a bit of a crazy, like it was a lot, and they were able to do that. And they're very strict. They're very strict. Max is saying make 50% APY with USDC. Yeah, like these kind of like unheard.
But I think also Dubai is really good also for physical security, right? Because you see, I think maybe this is one of the reasons also a bunch of founders are here. Because I mean, you saw all the kidnappings that happened in France, right? And here, I feel like you're very safe. I haven't heard of anything like that, any kind of wrench attacks here in Dubai.
But
I think this is also a big.
I mean, you can we can leave our doors unlocked here. It's such a luxury just for that. Like it's amazing. Like it's so safe. I think that is priceless. In like this day and age, it's so priceless. Whether, you know, you go to Europe, it's nice and stuff. Like of course you have cafes and people walking on the street and more people, but like you're stressed that someone's gonna come and like steal your phone out of your hand, right? Here you can literally just like have a chill life. No one's gonna bother you. They
Mm.
can't take pictures of people. Like it's very they really value privacy in a way that like other governments don't, which is really nice, and it definitely allows like these high profile individuals, whether it's like founders or just very wealthy people, or even like celebrities, for example, to have a normal life. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely props to.
Yeah. Yeah, and on the OpSec, really, so we were talking about the ways you can be secure and all the different things you can implement, but in the end, you're only as secure as, someone coming in and telling you, okay, I'm gonna cut off your finger if you don't give me
Yeah,
your
fuck.
key, right? And yeah, this is crazy to me. I was really shocked by this wave of kidnappings that happened in France. Yeah, I was really shocked by that.
Yeah, hopefully we don't see more. I mean, there hasn't been. I mean, we were in Cannes. We didn't manage to meet them in Cannes, but like how everyone was taking. It's crazy. We all talk about OPSEC, but when it comes to actually putting it in practice in like public places like Cannes for ETC, everyone was wearing their like name tags and their company tags and their like merch T-shirts in the streets. I haven't heard of anyone getting robbed, thank God, but like yeah, I know we definitely talk a lot, but when it comes to putting things in practice, like sometimes I think human error is honestly the most, the thing that gets you the most at the end. It's just people just messing up, like being people, honestly.
Mhm.
Um, but I wanted to say like we have yeah, I told you that we were gonna go for an hour, but we're already like way over time.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe have to jump off now. Thanks for having me, though.
Sounds
It was
good.
really
Thank you for
nice.
joining, Ludovic.
Thanks
Thank
for the
you.
Thank you,
questions.
Ludovic.
I
Thank
hope to
you.
see you another time. See you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Let me try to get. Okay, let's go. It's to us. Um, can we talk about music and your next song?
Sure.
Do you have your guitar?
I do. I do.
Yes. I
So the
wasn't
problem is
sure.
that
I wasn't sure you're gonna pull it up, but so this is this is a side of Emilie that if you've been to conference, if you know her, she's a rock star. She can sing. We've done karaoke together. I can sing, so don't ask me to sing along. You will cry. It's gonna be worse than the Neon Cat song that you get when people are donating. But Emilie is a rocker, and she can definitely sing.
yeah, I'm a rocker. I'm not a rock star at all. I'm a
She is
I'm
a
a
rock
really bad
star.
singer.
She's we have
And
EDK is in the chat saying let's go.
now, so
Go les
yeah, we
Belges.
have this we have this silly kind of band called the Moon Crashers. It's called the Moon Crashers because, before the moon landing, NASA thought, okay, we don't need to land on the moon. First, let's just go and crash on the moon. That's gonna be enough. So that's kind of our our mantra is that we'll do whatever we can. And normally we do rock and metal. So you asked me to do a song. To play metal, you're supposed to have a bunch of people with you. So now I tried to do this kind of acoustic version of it, and the song is called "Come and Fill the Bowl." It's basically, it was written when we were a bit more in the bear market. Now it's great, and it was a song, you know, to have hope that the bull market is gonna come back. So
I've
this
got
is
my
it.
alien cup. I feel like this is very here of the
And
moon.
let me change the audio source so you can hear my guitar as well. Okay. Can you hear my guitar?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Up, and I'll do this so I can see you as well. So you think it's only going down? Have hope, baby. We're gonna fly. We're gonna fly. If your token price is going down, just do buybacks. We're gonna fly. We're gonna fly. 100x. Oh yeah.
So come on, feel the boom. Straight up to the moon. We'll get rich, rich, rich.
Woo!
Rich, rich, rich. Come on, feel the boom. Straight up to the moon. We'll get rich, rich, rich. Get rich.
Woo!
Ouais,
J'adore. Yeah, the buybacks is quite important, especially I don't know if you heard of Pump Fund news, but they're doing some pretty big buybacks to save the tokens.
honestly, whenever I hear buybacks, I'm like, here I am.
We love buybacks.
Oh my god.
All right. EDK is clapping in the chat. Another Belgian friend. Il y a plein, on est
Thank you, DK.
il y a plein de Belges ici en fait. On est cachés, mais there's quite a few. The Belgian family, crypto.
Nice.
Ah, this was so cool. I need to. So when's the next concert? Is gonna be in Buenos
I think
Aires.
it's November 16, something like that. It's again the closing party of the staking summit. And so we have 6 songs for now. Of course, there's Round Tripper. Then we
That's
have
my
a bunch of
fave.
others.
I wanted you to initially, maybe on another stream we'll do the Round Tripper one. I love that one. It's so like, oh wait, we have another Flamand in the chat. What's up? Whoa, it's the Belgian.
Goedenavond.
Hello, goedenavond.
Yeah. This is the level of my...
Alles goed.
Ik heb Nederlands op school geleerd.
Ja, Max aussi. Wauw, alles goed. Ja, alles goed. Zeker. Zeker. Nee, les
Yeah,
Belges.
so, yeah.
Lion Eye said, love the song. Yeah, like we love it. And you know, if you're at DevConnect and you are going to the staking summit, definitely check them out. They're gonna be performing live. EDK saying welcome Flamand. Wow, but this is turning into like a Belgian takeover here. There's not many of us in general, but
Yeah.
on est là.
On est là. And for November, I want to write 2 more songs, so we have 8 for sure. One, I want to have something like, we got 99 problems, but revenue ain't one. Something about these companies that have crazy valuations, but you know, no profit, no revenue, no nothing.
Only vibes.
Just vibes.
We got funky beats saying, we moeten precies nog een Dutch space doen. Oh my god. Ja, ik weet niet. Mijn Vlaams is goed, maar ik spreek wel met een Frans accent. Mais bon, on se comprend. Belge. Je me demande honnêtement, yeah, wait, I need to focus on English actually, because I'm sure there's people here in the chat that don't know what's happening. We're switching between a very, unknown language, which is Flemish. Yes, Belgium is a country. Someone just donated to the chat. Wait, I need to see. Oh my god, I cannot see. One sec, let me put back to the 3. No message. Thank you though. We love you. I don't know who that is, but so much love for donating to the show.
How much donations did you get?
I don't
Do you
know.
have like the total already?
I don't know. I need to check. So basically there's a page on Donate.gg, and there's a profile page. I guess I can click on it and I'm gonna be able to see. I will check later. But yeah, you guys are amazing. It's the first time we're testing it, and again, it's like it's a new plugin for streamers. Initially, Leap decided to create this to help streamers like donate to charity and connect charities to donators. I don't know how familiar with that, but like there's some platforms that do connect like people to charities. The only thing is that we've had some feedback, and I know also from working on certain like nonprofit projects that like they do take really high fees, and they do charge charities to be listed on their platform. So a lot of the time, like beyond obviously having to overcome like technical and all this like barriers that to being able to accept donations, which also can be quite difficult, definitely if you're in certain like countries and so on. On top of that, you get charged, and these fees are crazy. Like Leap decided to do this, and donations that come from Donate GG basically they're not charging a fee. So yeah, it's new, it's pretty cool, and so we're testing it out. But yeah, and it's working, and you guys are like pretty cool. Funky Beats is saying yes, Belgium is not in France, it's an actual country. Oh, thanks for coming through. Thank you guys, that's so nice, honestly. Like, appreciate who is donating. Let me try to see if I can move the feed, because it's hidden there. Let me do it like this. Okay, no message. This is my first stream with OBS, so bear with me if we're like moving things around and stuff. Lion Ice is saying lol. Okay, sounds like French though. Flemish? No, I mean Belgian
It sounds
speak
like French because when we speak it, we have the French accent.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, we're like Belgian. So Belgium is one of these places. It's a bit like Switzerland. You have like 3 official languages. So the north speaks Flemish. Brussels is a bilingual region. They speak French and Flemish, technically, and then you have the south, which speaks French, or Wallon, which sometimes it's hard to understand, honestly. Like if you're like in deep Wallonia, I struggle sometimes, but it's very funny. I love the Wallon accent. It's very funny. And then there's like a small,
People are so nice too.
like,
That's what's so cool.
and then there's like there's a small part of southern Belgium that speaks German, but regions don't really understand each other. And so like Flemish people typically, even though they learn it in school, like they don't really speak French, and vice versa. So the country, it's tough.
I gotta say, Flemish people speak better English and French than the Walloons speak English and Flemish. I have to admit,
That's
they're better
yeah.
than me at least.
Yeah, that's for sure. Also, I'm from Antwerp, and even the movies back in the days, we used to go to the movies a lot. Now it's not a thing anymore, but all movies are not dubbed. Although, yeah, Max is saying Flemish is a very hard language. It is. It's tough to learn. I learned to speak Flemish when I was 18, so quite late. It's not my mother tongue. But I have to say it's not the easiest language, honestly. Like the grammar is all over the place. It's not.
It's easier than solidity.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should start I don't know if there's like a Belgian community for crypto people. Do we have that? I've never seen. No.
Yeah, we can. I mean, there was the Brussels Blockchain Week that happened. So yeah, maybe you can find them there.
But then I have to go to Belgium.
Then you have to go to Belgium. That is the requirement. Yeah.
Lioness is saying, "Oh, I've learned something new today. Thanks for the bring down. I love the accent too. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a small country. Like we have like 10 million, 11 million people, and it's very small. It takes you like 3 hours to get from north to bottom if there's no traffic. So it's very tiny." Funky Beats is saying, "I'm Dutch, but I have a lot of like French Walloon friends, so I'll talk French as well through that way." And yes, yeah, Pumpy made one, or at least a group chat. I'll add you to it. Oh yeah, we should definitely be at it. There's some of us. We're spread out. But I know we've been running for a while. This has been like super fun. Again, for the ones that are like tuning in now, Emilie is part of the Chainsecurity team. They're an OG auditing firm. They save companies and your bags as well from being stolen away and from hackers, and have been in the space since 2017. So like they're one of the OG security firms from the space, and it's been really fun talking to Emilie and Ludovic, that was part of her team that had to leave earlier, about just like security and how to improve your OpSec in crypto. So thank you so much for sharing. I definitely learned a lot. It makes me think I need to just like change all my passwords now and buy, what's the device I need to buy?
YubiKey.
Oh my god, I'm gonna buy YubiKey.
Yeah. I think OpSec is really important. And I don't know. There's maybe one more thing I wanted to say before I go, because there's this kind of misunderstanding, I think, on what decentralization really is and how decentralized protocols are, right? Something that I like to call the decentralization theater. And in a lot of DeFi protocols, more than half of DeFi protocols, they're not immutable. Very few DeFi protocols are immutable. A lot of them, someone is going to have admin powers, is going to have special powers where they can, for example, upgrade a smart contract or change something in the protocol. Then I think this is something people, before investing in DeFi protocols, should be quite careful about. Am I investing in something that is fully trustless and therefore the team can be anon, can be based in Bermuda, whatever? Or is it something where the admin has power to rug pull me to take all the money? And then maybe it should be in a jurisdiction that is trusted with people that are known and potentially regulated, right? And so I think this is something, when people do their due diligence before investing in DeFi, this is something that they should be careful of. So I just wanted to, because this is very important.
And how does someone check that? Like, what are the best steps for someone to just inform themselves? How can they check?
So in general, this is something you can see in audit reports. Typically in our audit reports, we're going to put a description of the system, and then we're going to say something like, the admin is fully trusted and when you see these kind of words in an audit report, you have to think, okay, who am I trusting here, right? I'm not trusting the system, I'm not trusting the code, I'm trusting the person. And when you're trusting the person, you can trust them, and they could be malicious. Of course, that's the worst case, right? They had criminal intent all along and they just want to steal your money. But it could also be that they get compromised, right? Because the same way your keys get compromised, someone who's got admin powers on a DeFi protocol can also get compromised. Like I said for the Ronin hack, right? Where the guy thought he was doing a job interview and then bam, 600 million were lost because his private keys kind of had this control over the protocol, right? So there's that, but there's also, I think, an interesting case. So when you have this type of, it's not really a back door, it's a front door, really. When you have this kind of access, you can also, if you get a subpoena, for example, if a court says, okay, you need to give us the money, or you need to seize the money or something like that, if as the admin you're able to take this money out, a court can force you to do it. This already happened in the past when some hacker put money on a DeFi protocol, and then they were forced by the state, by the authorities, to hack the hacker. So yeah, there are different ways where even if you trust the person, you also need to trust the infrastructure. And yeah, just wanted to mention that before I leave, at least.
And your audits, are they? Oh, another donation came through. Thank you guys. So sweet. I love that cat. I don't know what you guys think, but like I chose this cat as like a little gift there. Let me check. I know I can probably move the text here, but oh my god. Let me see if I can like move the feed and see it. I don't know. It's not working. I need to figure this out. Anyways, wait. I'm trying to move things around here. Here we go. Wow, I feel so proud. Like trying to be like, okay, well, no message, but thank you, whoever you are. Love you. This is super cool. Like, you guys are amazing. Honestly, like, this has been like super fun. I was gonna say something. I forgot.
That Chainsecurity is
Yes.
great.
Yeah,
Love us.
Chainsecurity is the
that's
best. About these audits that you guys, whenever you're conducting an audit, is this something like public? Can people go and read them on your website? Like, if I want to look up a company that is this only company you've worked with, or do you do also audits, you know, of company? Is this something like they have to pay for, and then it's like a certification that you guys issue, and then everybody has this information at hand? Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, but then we don't publish all our audit reports. It's not mandatory. In general, clients want these audit reports to be published.
If it's a
they
good
always
one,
say, okay,
obviously.
it's a good one. But even then, sometimes projects don't really care. Like, and I think I can say publicly. Yeah, for example, we've done a bunch of audits for Tether, but they don't care about publishing it, right? Because I guess Tether is anyway such a big market leader that they don't really care to have audits out there, and they maybe see it even as a potential additional risk because our audit reports are pretty detailed, right? We're going to explain exactly how the system works, what are the different components, how they interact with each other, what were the vulnerabilities that we found, how they were fixed, and that now they're secure. But some projects would see it as maybe a risk, like maybe if a hacker reads the report, maybe it's going to inspire them to find something else. So some people are not comfortable publishing it, but I would say 85% of our audits are published. I love your cup. It's so
Cool, right?
yeah. This is a Dubai cup.
Cool. Cheers.
Yours is better.
It's just water. Just kind of like taking a glass of wine now at this time. Cool. Well, honestly, I didn't know this, and I love how you can always like learn new things and improve your experience on chain. And especially if you're going in with size and you're degenning, you definitely want to do your research. And doing your research is not just checking what your alpha group says about a project, but it's also going on different websites like Chainsecurity's website and reading these audits. I was reading the white paper. I don't know if people do that these days anymore. Are there any white papers left? But
actually, there's another big misconception that I just thought about. So sometimes people say they're audited, and there's like the logo of whatever audit firm on the website. But then if you actually go and read the audit report from that firm, sometimes it's going to say some issues haven't been fixed, and we don't think this project is very secure. Sometimes the audit reports are not very good, and yeah, people still say we're audited by it. So this is also maybe a misconception. Maybe you don't have to read the full thing, but in general, you're gonna have a little summary. All auditors do that. You're gonna have a little summary at the beginning, kind of yes, no, or almost.
next time I'm going in, or you're like, I'm gonna invest in a company or something, I'll call you and then
yeah, I'm a terrible investor, but I can tell you if a project has done kind of the best practices in security. This I can tell you. I mean, I can't, but my engineers can, and then I tell you.
I'll call Ludovic. I'm gonna call Ludovic.
Ludovic tells me, then I tell you. Yeah, and for the rest, it's like,
well,
for the actual economic aspect.
I mean, since we're talking about the market, what's your outlook for the rest of the year? Let's end on
I'm so bullish right now.
Let's go.
So bullish. Everybody wants to know that for yesterday. Everybody's building. Yay! I am honestly, I'm flying.
Let's go.
As per the song.
Yeah, the horn. It's super intense. I know.
But what's your outlook?
I mean, definitely positive. I think it depends at what how you're looking, like where, how zoomed in or how zoomed out you are. I think depending also on which niche, there's definitely certain niches or certain like areas of the market that are struggling. However, if you're looking at obviously Bitcoin, I mean, we're sitting at all-time high, and there's other places, that are doing really well and are going to keep doing well. But again, there's capital rotations. It's not said that one thing, one niche of the industry is going to do well throughout the whole cycle. Things move around, so it depends where you're
When you
looking.
say
But
capital rotation, you mean that the funds are not very sticky and people jump from one protocol to the other very easily? Is that capital rotation or is it something else?
yeah, that as well. And then there's different trends in the market as well that can be hot at some point. So if you're heavily invested in, I don't know, let's say tokens on Bitcoin, for example, which we've been looking at a lot, you may be considerably down on your assets if you haven't like played that well. There's a lot of people that have burnt themselves pretty heavily while, you know, um, Bitcoin has been at all-time high. There's certain asset classes that are going to outperform or underperform the market. That's what I'm seeing. So it really depends on where you're looking at. Ideally, you want to be in the one that's the strongest, and not, be over allocated in projects that are not doing so well or risky. That's kind of how I'm seeing it. So, at the end of the day, like, yes, we could be in a bull market, but there's definitely people that not everybody's making money if you're in a bull market. It's if you're over trading, if you're risking your money in whatever, projects that are like, at the end, statistically, if we look back, it's the people that are holding and not selling. Obviously, not risk, yeah, whatever that is, but like people that, for example, invested years ago and held their Bitcoin and then found their keys back are going to be happier than people that over traded and maybe, I don't know, just lost money in NFTs or whatever and during the last cycle. So I think it
Yeah,
really depends.
there was this one project that raised a bunch of money in 2017. It was one of the big ICOs. I forgot the name. Was it Tezos? No, it wasn't Tezos. It was one of these, at that time. And they raised a lot of money. And then there was a class action lawsuit because, I don't know, the ICO wasn't legal, I don't know. And so the money was blocked for years. And then when they, thank God they didn't sell anything. Then when they recovered the money, then they had this huge treasury. And it's funny, the stories like that. It happened also, yeah, to some other people I know. Kind of this. Sometimes, if you're in legal proceedings, this is the best way to huddle, right? Because
You're stuck. You can't touch it. But yeah, and the hodlers, historically, like hodlers will outperform traders. It's just a fact. Like, but I'm a permeable on Bitcoin, on big caps. I'm bullish on crypto. That then obviously, like, if you're burning yourself on meme coins and stuff, like, which can happen, like, it's fun, it's gambling, you just know what you're doing. But ultimately, I think Bitcoin, there's not enough Bitcoin for everybody. Non-financial advice, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
One thing kind of funny happened like 2 years ago. A project got hacked, and so they had their funds in USDC, and then the hacker turned it into ETH, or yeah, I think it was ETH. And afterwards, they negotiated with the hacker, they got the money back. And what happened is that between the hack and when the hacker converted into ETH, and when they got the money back, there was a huge price increase in ETH. And so I think they made $1 million from this hack, from the appreciation of ETH. So yeah, hodling for the win.
Yeah. Hack and hodl.
Hack and hodl.
So bad.
Rich by accident.
Yeah. Oh God. But yeah, I mean, now one thing for sure is, as long as I people do ask me, like, is crypto a phase? I don't know. It's been going on for a few years now. I don't think it's a phase. It's built a company, for this industry, like, on this industry. It's definitely gonna be something that we've seen come up in our lifetime. It's if sometimes I look back and I zoom out a little bit, I do think it's quite incredible to see how every generation has their own sort of like tech innovation waves, and like for us it's definitely crypto and AI. And yeah, we got to live it, we got to be there since the beginning and see it grow and grow with it, and I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, honestly. Could have been doing 1,000 other things, but we're here, so I don't know. We're still here. So yeah, I'm bullish. And with that said, it's time for us to go have some food and dinner and close the stream. But I do want to say thank you, Emilie. It's been a pleasure. We've definitely learned a lot. I hope that everybody that's been watching has gotten a few things out of it. It's definitely a side of like our space that is quite obscure, and I hope that you can have a bit of more light on like what's going on, and also know where to go to find information, right? Just check out Chainsecurity's website. You can go and check out some audits, see how they're structured, what's written on them. You can definitely learn a thing or two. And yeah, it's been super fun. And please thanks Ludovic for joining as well. And thanks for everybody that donated and used donate. Honestly, like, love you guys. This has been like super fun. And I'm gonna plan my next stream. I'm streaming also with like Fluid Tokens. No, that was today. I have a pretty special stream coming out next week, and I'm gonna be announcing some pretty crazy guests in a good way. Crazy in a good way. I have a pretty good lineup for next week in the month. So yeah, there's gonna be some like really fun conversations. And I'm also gonna, this has been like the first time here using OBS. It's a new platform. I'm gonna clean it up, and we're gonna improve the whole experience here to just make it even more enjoyable. I hope you had fun though, like people watching. Funky Beats is saying definitely looking into Chainsecurity since I missed 90% of the stream. Yeah, I mean, check it out. Auditing Security crypto firm. Their website is there. You can always reach out. Please add us in the Belgian chat. We need to be there.
Yay.
Yes. And
summarize the really key stuff. Use 2FA. If you're going to interact with anything, check here on the right URL. Make sure if you're going to interact with the DeFi protocol, is it really decentralized, or do you trust them? I think this is the key takeaways, right? Oh, Zoom. Be careful of Zoom.
Avoid Zoom. Zoom equals malware, 90% of the time. I wonder if the Zoom team is aware
of 2 hours. And I'm a bad singer. This is the summary, 2 hours.
Yeah. Funky Beat said he added me, but can add Emilie for whatever reason. I think you guys need to follow each other. Otherwise you can't add to the group chats. But yeah, we'll group the Belgian channel. Can't. Okay. You guys can figure it out. It's been a pleasure. It's been like super fun. Honestly, like I really love doing these streams. Like it's such a vibe every time. Thank you also
so for having me.
Yeah, for sure. And performing. It's been cool. If you're in Buenos Aires for DevConnect, go to Emilie's concert. She's a crazy good musician, and they write really fun songs. Yes, they write amazing songs, amazing fun crypto songs. So yeah, thank you again for everybody that came. I love you guys, and see you next week. I think you can just check. I'm very last minute on the announcement. I will make an effort and organize and get my shit together.